Hello, and thank you for joining us for another instalment of London's Fashion Alphabet. I'm Lucie Whitmore, fashion curator, and today R stands for Rahvis. Dora and Raemonde were the sisters behind the Rahvis brand, and although they aren't as well remembered today as some of their male contemporaries, in their time the sisters were well known and respected as creative, skillful and resourceful designers. This 1952 strapless evening gown has been made primarily from cream and pink silk. It's lined throughout with this non-woven paper-like interfacing, which gives stiffness and support to the skirt. The back has a deep pink silk pleat or godé that you can see the back of here. And this would have really looked amazing when the wearer moved or danced in the dress. The bodice is boned for further support, and as you can see, it's covered in these areas of concentrated embroidery. This dress was worn by Lillian Ivy Rivers Kirby, who was an artist and a London society figure. She was born Lillian Stroud in Chiswick in 1913, and before she got married in 1947, she worked as a hairdresser. She married Frederick Harry Rivers Kirby, a stockbroker, and they got married in Paddington, and then they lived on Ilchester Place in Kensington. Frederick and Lillian loved to travel, and they often spent their winters in Gstaad in Switzerland. But the couple also loved being in London, and they often entertained at their house. Lillian developed a strong sense of style, buying evening wear and formal wear such as this from Rahvis, but also attending the Paris collections to choose items for her wardrobe. Her daughter remembers her as a Londoner who loved London. Lillian's daughter donated this dress to the museum in 2004, and we are so glad she did because it is our only known example of work by the Rahvis sisters. So now we'll go back to the Rahvis sisters, Dora and Raemonde. The sisters were born in South Africa at the start of the 20th century, and in 1907 they moved to London with their family, where they first resided in Kilburn in North London. The sisters established their brand, Rahvis Gowns, by the end of the 1920s, and they were always really canny with their self-promotion. So one of the first things that they became known for was designing the bridesmaids' dresses at a high-profile aristocratic society wedding. These dresses were featured in a newsreel, the kind that would have been shown before films in the cinema, and that was their first kind of entrance into the public domain. Rahvis designs were featured regularly in both British and global fashion press, and the sisters had many famous names on their list of clientele, including actresses and film stars. The brand name was changed from Rahvis Gowns to Rahvis Couture, and the sisters were known for their fashionable women's day wear and evening wear. Their designs were usually along the lines of the popular silhouette of the time, but it was their quirky and inventive embellishment that really made them stand out, such as the beautiful embroidery that's featured on this dress. A variety of different techniques have been used to create this impact on this dress. So there are the sort of geometric patterns and the trailing floral forms, and they've used a really interesting combination of materials, including the silk threads, the rhinestones, glass beads, and then these chenille threads as well, which give a really interesting texture. You can also see along this strip here little flowers made from ribbons, and this was a kind of signature design staple of the Rahvis sisters and something they were really known for. The Rahvis sisters aren't quite as well remembered today as some of their male contemporaries, such as Hardy Amys or Norman Hartnell or Digby Morton. There are a few different possible reasons for this, but the Rahvis sisters fought really hard as women to be as well known and well respected in their field. In a 1958 film called Why Not a Woman, Dior, they stated that women made better fashion designers for women because they better understand women's bodies and the way women felt about their appearance and what clothes could do for them. The sisters made numerous attempts to join an organisation, a membership organisation called the Incorporated Society of London Fashion Designers. The sisters tried to join in 1946 and 1947, and both times their membership application was rejected. Eventually they were accepted as members much later in 1968. This sort of lack of acceptance by the fashion establishment may have a number of possible reasons to do with who they were and what they designed. But it is worth noting that they did have strong personalities, and Raemonde in particular was well known for this. Sometimes it was quite light-hearted, like her choice to wear sunglasses during a press film, but sometimes her sort of controversial opinions did cause problems for her and her sister. In the later years, Dora left the business, and after it closed in 1974, Raemonde went on to establish another modest fashion business. She also, at the age of 78, designed the wardrobes worn by the two female leads in the James Bond film For Your Eyes Only. Thank you for joining us for another instalment of London's Fashion Alphabet. Please come back next time and see what we have for the letter S.